Jacob Rodriguez deserves to win the Heisman, in my honest opinion. That might be a hot take, but from what I have watched this season, he may be the best player in college football. Rodriguez's journey to Texas Tech may be as crazy and great as his classic mustache look. From a quarterback at Virginia to a walk-on at Texas Tech sleeping on his brother's apartment floor, to now being the best defensive player in college football, this kid is special. This is a story of the real 2025 Heisman Trophy winner. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you think should win the Heisman this year in the comment section below. Jacob Rodriguez is originally from Hastings, Minnesota, which is located near the Wisconsin-Minnesota border. He comes from a larger family, being the youngest of 5 siblings. Because he was the youngest, he wanted to do whatever his older brothers did. Jacob is 17 months younger than his brothers Joshua and Jeremiah, who are twins. When they were 5, the two began wrestling, and because his brothers wanted to do it, that meant Jacob, who looked up to them, also wanted to do it. So he began wrestling at the age of 3 years old. Jacob told the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, "They started and I always wanted to be just like them. So I went out and started. Really enjoyed wrestling. It helped us control our emotions around the house. We knew we could just take it to the mat later on, and so we didn't really have to fight much after that because we always knew what we were going to be so tired after practice." By the age of 5, Jacob was winning youth state titles at the age of 5 and 7 and finished 3rd when he was 6. His brothers were also extremely successful, winning state titles when they were 7 and 8. Not only did Jacob win, he dominated, pinning every one of his opponents during his state title runs. Jacob was always different compared to the rest of the kids his age, and his parents basically felt he was basically the next level compared to his older brothers. His father Joe explained, "When he got to the 6th or 7th grade, all of a sudden something changed. He was definitely a man against boys. Just crazy how big he was, how fast he was, how strong he was for such a young age. We had to take his birth certificate everywhere we went. It was funny, all the dramatisms from the other parents. There's no way that kid's 10 years old." When Jake was 10, his family moved to Wichita Falls, Texas. Last year, Don Williams from the Lubbock Avalanche Journal wrote, "Joe Rodriguez said he served in the U.S. Army from the age of 18 to 21, including 7 months with the Ranger Battalion. Another military man, a close friend he met in Biloxi from Keesler Air Force Base, retired from Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls. When the Rodriguez family wanted to leave the cold of Minnesota, the friend touted all the positives of Wichita Falls: warm weather, high school sports, and a good community with churches they'd like. Jake, who loved the snow, had to adjust to the extreme hot Texas summers and the lack of snowboarding scene. He also adjusted to a brand new sport, Texas football. Jacob fell in love with football and quickly became a star athlete. He would start at Wichita Falls High School, playing quarterback and safety, and Jacob loved football so much that even in his junior high days, he would figure a way to go to as many games as possible to scratch the itch, saying, "Oh, I loved it. Gosh, we tried to go to all the games as possible. I went to a couple of Archer City games, some holiday games, smaller schools around there. I just love being around it." In 2018, Rodriguez threw for 1,602 yards, 12 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, while also rushing for 1,301 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground. He was named the District 3-5A-2 Offensive Newcomer of the Year after dealing with injuries. He also led the Riders to the Class 5A state semifinals. In 2019, Jacob threw for 3,003 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while also rushing for 1,247 yards and 16 touchdowns on the ground. He earned District 3-5A-2 Co-MVP honors. He led the Riders to the Class 5A state quarterfinals. As a senior, he led the Riders to an 8-2 regular season record in the semifinals of the 5A state playoffs. His senior class would be the winningest class in Rider playoff history, finishing with 11 wins. He threw for 2,480 yards and 23 touchdowns, while also rushing for 503 yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground. He also was a star on the basketball court as well as at track and field, competing in the long jump, triple jump, and relays. Coming out of high school, Jacob Rodriguez was a 3-star athlete who was the 412th best player in the 2021 recruiting class. He received over 14 different Division I offers from the likes of Baylor, Houston, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Virginia. He would originally commit to Virginia to play for head coach Bronco Mendenhall. He explained to the Times Record News, "It felt like the perfect fit. It really is hard to pass up on something you feel is right. Just thinking about it and talking it over with family and praying about it, when you know, there's really no reason to postpone it any longer." While a lot of schools viewed him as a safety or linebacker at the next level, Virginia viewed him as a quarterback of the future. Jacob didn't really care that what position he played in college, saying, "That had a little effect on my decision. Beyond playing football, I wanted to go into coaching. I feel like learning the quarterback position at the college level gives me a better understanding of play calls and how to do things as a whole on the offense. In the big picture, that had little to do with why I picked Virginia. It was really just about the place and the coaches." He committed without ever taking a visit to the school, and his goal was to actually play out of state. As a true freshman, Rodriguez would appear in 12 games, with Virginia being listed as the 4th-string quarterback, as well as a football player. He finished the year rushing for 56 yards on 10 carries, while also recording 8 receptions for 61 yards. Less than 24 hours after Bronco Mendenhall announced he was stepping down as head coach, Rodriguez would choose to enter the transfer portal. He'd be a 3-star transfer by 24/7 Sports. Allowed him to return to the state where his family was located and where his brothers played as well. He loved the conversation he had with head coach Joey McGuire and felt like it was the best place for him. Rodriguez explained on RG3's podcast, "I left a scholarship position to play quarterback at the University of Virginia when I walked on here. I actually had to take a loan out to pay some bills and pay for my books and stuff to be able to play football. I slept on the ground in my brother's apartment for a whole semester when I got here, and I was just trying to make it through. That was the biggest blessing with NIL, is being able to support everybody and being able to only have to focus on football and not having to get a job or focus on being the best student athlete like me." When Jake got to Tech, he would move over from the quarterback position to the linebacker position. He would also play on special teams. His sophomore year would be a successful one, as he would finish with 29 tackles and 3 tackles for loss, playing 12 of the 13 games. His best performance would come against West Virginia, where he forced a fumble and had 4 tackles. Against Baylor, he finished with a career-high 5 tackles against the Bears. He would get hurt late in the season, though, cutting his season short. Heading into his junior year in 2023, there was a lot of hope and excitement around what Jacob could do for the team. He was voted a team captain and was expected to be the anchor of the defense from the linebacker position. That would all come crashing down when Jacob suffered an injury in the first game of the season against Wyoming, suffering a Liz Frank sprain and a bone bruise. He would only get to play in 5 games the whole season, including the bowl game, making 4 starts. He would sit out the Texas game to reserve his red shirt, but helped the Red Raiders win 3 games in November to make it to a bowl game. He spoke on the injury, saying, "It was devastating. It really was. I think we were having a really promising year. The game didn't turn out the way we thought it would, especially with the start that we had, so I kind of blamed a lot on myself for that." He finished the year with 32 tackles and 1 tackle for loss, but also made plays in the coverage and wreaking havoc, forcing 2 forced fumbles, having a fumble recovery, and also having an interception. He was named the defensive MVP in Texas Tech's bowl game. When it came to his personal life, he also became a husband, marrying his now wife Emma, who went to Wichita Falls and graduated from West Point. Emma is a U.S. Army second lieutenant who is trained to be a helicopter pilot. He explained the transition, saying, "I feel like it's something we've done for a while, so we kind of know how to do it. It helps that both of us are busy. It's really hard when somebody's busy and someone's not. We both have extremely busy schedules and very demanding schedules. I think that's something that's definitely helped us, is we can stay busy and live our own lives, but know that it's worth it being together throughout the distance." He continued to dominate as a junior, leading the team with 127 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks, while also forcing 6 fumbles, recovering 2 fumbles and having an interception. He is named All Big 12 First Team by the coaches and Associated Press, joining Dakota Allen and Jordan Brooks as the only linebackers to accomplish that with the Red Raiders. He was also tabbed as an honorable mention All-American by Phil Steele. He also led the Big 12 in multiple categories. Heading into the 2025 season, there were high expectations for not just Rodriguez, but also for Texas Tech. They were viewed as an early Big 12 favorites and a college football playoff contender. Rodriguez was named Big 12 Preseason Defensive Player of the Year. So far this season, he has dominated, racking up 100 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, and a sack, while also having 6 pass breakups, 7 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries. He has 1 defensive touchdown this season, returning a fumble against Oklahoma State, 69 yards. Oh, and this past weekend, he also added a rushing touchdown, playing as a Wildcat quarterback. When asked post-game why he subbed Rodriguez in for quarterback, McGuire's answer was simple: to put some more respect on his guy's name as a potential Heisman Trophy finalist. Everyone is talking about how quarterback for Heisman, so we had to put him in at quarterback today. He scored a touchdown. Texas Tech is currently 10-1 and a real national title contender right now. Rodriguez is also viewed as a Heisman candidate as well, and I think he should be the favorite. Fox is starting to rate him up there. I think Rodriguez deserves to at least be a finalist, especially since there's really no clear Heisman frontrunner this year. As Dave Campbell's Texas Football pointed out last week, the Heisman should go to the player who made the most impact on his team, and Rodriguez is that guy. It is insane to me that he doesn't even have the decent betting odds. Turn on any Texas Tech game, and he is wreaking havoc on every play and truly making a difference. He also has one of the best mustaches in college football right now as well, and I'm also rocking the mustache at the time of recording. What do you think? Should Jacob Rodriguez win the Heisman? And if not, who do you think should win? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.